All right, question number 47. How easy is it to misplace our faith? Okay, so if you haven't really developed fully into a relationship with God, then it gets really easy to make this mistake. But I'm essentially asking, how easy is it to turn to another relationship to depend on instead of God? And that's what we're going with this. Everything we talked about so far helps us to describe what faith is, how we build it up, how we maintain it, how we prove it. That it exists. It's a relational dependency on God for all our needs and wants. He designed us to be dependent on Him, and that is partly why Scripture says that we're a little lower than the angels, which is a reference to Psalms chapter 8, verse 5. We require that relationship to even exist. If we don't have that relationship intact, we can't. We have to have relationship. We're not independent. We're not self-sufficient. Not like the angels or any of the other God's creations. We have to have each other. And essentially what we have to have is we have to have God. Now, don't get me wrong. A man who has faith in God carries with him all of God's authority and power. That's because you are engaged in the relationship, and whoever messes with you messes with God, because we're attached to one another. But this design also is why we as individuals are weak and fragile and in constant need of relational dependency. Our constant needs, of course, and for these desires to be filled comes as a problem when we're not depending on God. Okay, so without Him, we naturally develop dependencies on anyone or anything that can satisfy. These foreign attachments are what the Bible describes as idols. When Scripture was written, people gave credit for fulfilled needs and wants to what they could see and touch, which often manifested as some kind of man-made image or a statue. Today we don't really praise statues, but the act of idolatry really hasn't changed. Our dependency on people can manifest as vanity, or with the need for others to affirm us. And you see that a lot with social media these days. Our dependency on money can manifest as greed, with this need to have more of it. Our dependency on self can manifest as arrogance, this need to be elevated above others. All of these are literally idols, or what I call, they're essentially what misplaced faith is. So you've looked to another relationship to satisfy those needs and wants. So in Luke chapter 8, verse 25, after rebuking the wind and the sea, Jesus asked His disciples, "Where is your faith?" And it's not a question of whether we have faith. Yeah, you've got faith. You've got another relationship. You have a dependency in place. In fact, faith is part of what we do. The problem centers around where we place it. So if you don't place it in God, then you're going to sink. Okay, you're going to fail, because those relationships will fail, and when they do, then you're going to be left with nothing. So that's the answer to my question. I love you guys. See you on the next one.